Dick Lutz with Mike Moore. Great to have you with us. It's week number 2 of our third ladder series, and last week veteran Tim Lipke showed the way.
Yeah, he'd been away from competitive television bowling for a number of years, but now that things are settling down perhaps a bit at Lakeside Lanes, he's able to get out, bowl competitively, and this is his second week on Stars and Strikes.
Lipke started out as our number 5 seed. He defeated David DiOrio last week by a score of 363 to 294, and he will take on Rich Hallberg this week. Let's meet our bowlers first. Our number 5 seed, Tim Lipke from Londonderry, New Hampshire.
Averaging 126 these days. His high single, 214, which he bowled at Park Place, the former home of Stars and Strikes. High triple, 515, and his own bowling center, Lakeside Lanes in Manchester, is where he does his league bowling.
And he'll be taking on our number 3 seed this week. He's from Weymouth, Massachusetts, Rich Hallberg.
Yeah, Rich was on our show back in January for the doubles competition. Back for singles today with an average of 120. High single 184, high triple 474, and now bowling at Lucky Strike Lanes in East Boston.
Rich rolled a 678 to earn his number 3 seed in this ladder series. It's Tim Lipke and Rich Hallberg, and we're going to get right to this afternoon's match when we come back to Leda Lanes in Nashville, New Hampshire, right after this.
Candlepin Stars and Strikes is brought to you by the Thompson family of dealerships in Nashua, New Hampshire.
We began this ladder series with 5. We're down to 4 with the elimination last week of David DiOrio by Tim Lipke by a score of 363 to 294. Setting up this week's match between Lipke and number 3 seed Rich Hallberg, and Tim Lipke will be first to bowl here at Leda Lanes. He'll start out on lane 34. And we're underway. Tim with a spare opportunity right off the bat. The 2, the 7, and the 8 still standing with some wood out there that should help him. And it does. He starts off with a spare. Tim had a relatively easy time last week with his win over David DiOrio. He jumped out to a 42-pin lead after the first string and really never looked back after that. And he'll put 8 in the spare.
Poor David never, never even got a mark till middle of the second string, so it was uphill all the way for David DiOrio.
Yeah, it was 129.87 after the first string last week, and here's 2 marks in a row for Tim Lipke to start out against Rich Hallberg, the number 3 seed, who we will look at for the first time right now. Rich from Weymouth, Massachusetts, 37 years old. We talked about Tim Lipke being 45 years old and having bowled for 40 years. Lipke is 37 years old. He's been bowling for 34 years. He started when he was 3.
Didn't we have somebody a couple of years ago who claimed to start bowling while he was still in his mother's womb, as I recall? Dave Oliveri, I think, was the guy.
Could very well be.
He said, I'm 34 and I've been bowling 33 and a half years, and my mom was on a league when she was pregnant with me.
And Hallberg will start out with a 7. Rich averages 120, a high single of 184, a high triple of 474. He'll not pick up the spare.
Rich had a birthday a couple of weeks ago, turning 39. Excuse me, 38. Sorry, Rich.
9 bucks.
Well, we're looking at possible bonus money right out of the chute here for Tim Lipke.
We didn't give any away last week. Tim's making it difficult to give away the bonus money on a half Worcester shot. Just put 2 in the spare. He gave it a shot. The 4 and the 5 are still standing. And an 8 box. Tim and his wife Wendy are the owner-operators of Lakeside Lanes in Manchester. They bought the center in September of 1999, so bowling is his life.
Folks will remember Tim for being involved at the Londonderry Bowling Center for many, many years until they closed down recently. And I think they took the lane beds out and machines and shipped them off to somewhere in New York State. I think that's what I heard. So you may be able to find Candlepin bowling in upstate New York. Don't know exactly where.
Not going to make the spare. And a 9-box. I was in Maryland recently with my son looking at schools, and near where we were staying there was a 10-pin bowling center, and right near the 10-pin bowling center was a duck-pin bowling center.
Did you give it a try?
We bowled the 10 pins.
Duck pins are so much fun.
I haven't bowled duck pins in years.
Well, we've mentioned there are 2 or 3 of them in the northern Mass, southern New Hampshire area. North Chelmsford, Collins Bowlodrome in Billerica, and the old Wamiset Lanes in Tewksbury went down 7, 8 years ago to make room for, I guess it's a Home Depot now, or it's a restaurant complex. They're on 495 and 38.
That'll be a 9-box for Rich Hallberg.
Actually, the old Wamiset Bowl was a split house of Candlepins and duck pins.
I think one of the letters that we're going to be reading later on, either this week or next, is makes reference to a bowling center that has Candlepin and duck pin. Hallberg in the pocket, leaves the 7-pin. We'd like to hear from you. We will read your letters during the course of the match. You can contact us by writing to Candlepin Stars and Strikes, care of WNDS TV, 50 Television Place, Derry, New Hampshire 03038. And we love to hear from you wherever you may be watching Candlepin Stars and Strikes. WNDS has a very big reach on over-the-air and on cable. Something just under 2 million homes, I believe, in Massachusetts and New Hampshire.
And we know lots of you folks are online now with your computers. You can write to us at LedaLanes.org. Leda spelled L-E-D-A, LedaLanes.org. And Sean will give us the mail and we'll acknowledge it as well.
Playing the wood.
Whoa.
Tim gave it a shot. Gave it some body English after the shot and couldn't quite score. And that'll be a 10-box for Tim Lipke. Watch it one more time as we get a chance to see how close Tim Lipke came. Watch him play the wood over to the far side, brought a piece of wood out of the gutter and almost took the 10-pin with it. Right on the head pin and through, almost a spread eagle. 3 on the left, 2 on the right.
It's where accuracy does not pay off in this game, when you hit the head pin so squarely that you punch right through and leave that kind of a mess.
Gave it another good shot. 2 and the 4 still standing on the left side for Tim Lipke. And a 9-box for Tim. He's at 66 through 6. Nice note from Leslie Amici. I hope I'm saying it correctly. A-M-I-C-I. And where is she writing from? I have her envelope here. I'll find it here somewhere. That's not the one.
Do we need
Here
a
it is,
secretary?
from Sudbury, Massachusetts.
What's Leslie have to say?
Well, Leslie and her husband watch the show every week, and her husband is sightless, and she would ask us to be more specific on defining the pin drop after each shot. We will try, Mrs. Amici. We will try our best to make it more descriptive for you. As Rich Hallberg gets a 10-box after putting 6 in his spare. A 51.5 for Hallberg. Box to box, a 6-pin lead for Lipke. Bouncing one down.
Rich Rich has not had much luck hitting the head pin or getting much action.
He has a very unorthodox delivery. Watch
Yep.
his backswing and watch what the ball does behind his back as he brings it. He twists his hand.
It almost looks painful or unnatural. But you don't want to argue with a 120 average, nor with a guy that size. It's a big man.
And that will be a $9 for Rich Hallberg. He's at 60, a 6-pin lead for Tim Lipke after 6 boxes of our first string.
Rich, a former member of the Amateur Candlepin Tour, which is no longer in existence. Organization that I frequented for many years. A lot of the guys have graduated to the professional ranks. I graduated to the TV booth.
Tim right in the pocket on that one. He's got the 2-4-7 on the left with the 5-pin in the middle. The wood between the 2 and the 5 makes this a little bit easier. Got to hit the 2-pin. And he did, and he takes the spare. Watch it again. The key was hitting the 2-pin, the head pin. The wood in front of the 5 certainly helped in that case. Working on a mark. Tim Lipke right in the pocket. 5-pin defied him.
Not quite as flush on the head pin as he had been in recent tries on lane 33, and thus he has a very makeable spare. It's the 5.
Couple of marks in a row now for Tim Lipke, and he'll be looking for bonus money next time he stands at the line. And Rich Hallberg in danger of falling into a little bit of a hole here. He needs to match the Lipke marks. Right on the head pin. Can he break up the split? The 4 and the 10.
And a couple pieces of wood dangled off in front of the 10-pin. May not have quite the right angle to get to the 4-pin.
I would think you still have to play it and hope that the front piece of wood hits the back piece of wood and bounces forward. Here it comes. He got it.
Nice shot for Rich Hallberg, picking up the 4 and the 10.
Watch the front piece of wood kick off the back piece of wood and leverage across the lane to pick up the 4-pin. Nice shot by Rich Hallberg. On the spare, off the head pin, half Worcester, just put 2. That hurts.
That's an odd leave. The 5, 6, 8, and 10.
And a $7 for Rich Hallberg. So even with the spare, he was only able to get 19 pins in those 2 boxes. Now Lipke with the lead, 16 pins plus whatever he gets on this ball. And he'll get 6.
More parallel wood. Ugly. 5, 6, 8, and 9, and a 6 fill on the spare.
This is not an easy shot. Look at this. Look at this. He almost made it. That was not the pin you'd expect to still be standing. The 9-pin. In the back row, you would have expected one of the front row pins to still be standing, but not to be. $10. He's at 111.
He is so loose and so comfortable on TV. Have you noticed he's smiling a lot?
Well, as he said before, he's been on so many times.
Yeah.
He has become used to it. David DiOrio last week, his first time on TV, could not get adjusted. This is a makeable shot. The wood is good.
Gets the 3 and the 5 with a piece of wood in front of each of the 2 pins.
I dare say you could make this shot, Michael. Well,
yeah, but Mr. Lipke couldn't in this case, as the wood served as a roadblock or a deflector, and the 5 is still there.
He's at 120. He's at 121. First string for Tim Lipke.
Starting last week with 129, his average 126, and he averaged last week 121 for 3 strings, and that's what he's got for his first game this week.
Rich Hallberg lists as his hobbies a collector of sports memorabilia. Has a couple of real interesting items. One is an autographed photo of Pittsburgh Steel Curtain the defense that won 4 Super Bowls for the Steelers. And he just recently got a Stan Musial baseball when he met Stan the Man in Connecticut. And he's really happy about that. That's a cherished possession for Rich Hallberg. He has the 4 horsemen on the left side, the 1, the 2, the 4, and the 7, along with the 9 pin. And everything but the head pin.
Another big fan of collectibles, of course, is Steve Reno, who we saw as the top seed in the last ladder a couple of weeks ago. His big thrill was meeting Muhammad Ali, as I recall.
He's at 88 through 9. He's going to need a mark to break 100. Both last week and thus far this week, bowlers having a tough time scoring. That time he grabbed the head pin, and he has a spare opportunity here with the 4, the 7, and the 8, with wood in front of the 4 pin.
But angled, not in a real friendly manner. Should make it, but it's borderline.
He kicked the wood right away from it. Caught the wood right on the nose.
Was trying to hit it high and kind of misjudged where to put the ball.
So he'll be under 100. It'll be a 9 box and a 97 first string for Rich Hallberg. A 24-pin lead for Tim Lipke. We're headed to string number 2 on Candlepin Stars and Strikes from Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire. Don't go away. We're coming back with more right after this on WNDS TV.
Candlepin Stars and Strikes is brought to you in part by Dexter Shoe, the #1 bowling shoes in the world.
Rich Hallberg will be first to bowl in string number 2 of our second match of the 3rd ladder series of the season. The winner of the ladder series gains a berth in the Tournament of Champions at the end of the year. Thus far, we have 2 who have qualified.
Gary Carrington and most recently Mike Morgan. 2 fan favorites for sure, and we'll be adding a number more before we get to the big game in April.
Well, Rich had the half Worcester and then picked 2 more off. He's got the 2, 4, 7 on the left, the 5 in the middle, and the 6 and the 10 on the right. And that's going to be a 5 box to start out for Rich Hallberg in the second string.
Can't take a mulligan in this game, but this would be the time you would do it after a 5 box.
Oh, I've taken many mulligans. And Rich comes back with a spread eagle.
Oh.
He'll be talking to himself.
Second frame, and he's only knocked down 9 pins so far.
Now 10. Can we start over? That'll be an 8 box for Rich Hallberg. Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV. Our director today is Ken Knight. Working in the truck with Ken this afternoon, Dave McCarthy, Don Cronin, Paul Hunter, and Larry Taylor, and our camera crew of Kevin LaFond and Bob Dold. There's Tim Lipke looking back at Rich Hallberg saying, "Me too."
Mm-hmm.
Look at this. He's got the 5 in the middle. He's got the 4 and the 7 on the left, the 6 and the 10 on the right. Wood on both sides of the lane. You just take your pick on this one, throw it down there, and hope. He
Look
did,
at
and
that.
he got 1.
Almost didn't get anything. Tim is amused by it all.
And that'll be an 8 box. Don't forget, coming up in, what, 3 weeks, our mixed doubles.
Yeah. That'll be starting. Our first broadcast will be December 24th, Christmas Eve at noon. Join us for that. Some of the best men and women team up for 4 weeks of mixed double competition here at WNDS.
Here's Lipke in the pocket, trying to break up the split, and he does.
Crowd is so desperate for something to cheer for now. They're cheering on the first ball when you don't have a split.
The 10 pin still stands. No wood, clear shot. Just Lipke in the pin. And Lipke will convert the spare. He is an excellent pin picker.
Boy, he is. He is so accurate. 4-time WCBC Bowler of the Year, and there aren't too many that can claim that. Tommy Ulster's been the Pro Bowler of the Year 5 times.
Well, Tim still has a split. 3 on the right are the 3, the 6, and the 10. The 7 pin in the left corner. Rich Hallberg trying for the spare, not able to convert. The 7 pin still standing. So Hallberg looks for his first mark of the second string. He only had 2 in the first string, and he's going to end up with a 9 box here. Rich and Justine Kelly were married on April 19th, 1998, so still on their honeymoon. And here's a strike for Rich Hallberg. And Rich gives himself a round of applause as he walks back. The 6 pin a little reluctant, but finally it went over. Now Lipke works on a spare.
It's our first strike today.
Lipke answers with a solid pocket shot and a double mark for Tim. No doubt about this one, right in the 1-3 pocket. It was on the 1-2 pocket on the left side.
Looking for $50 in bonus money right here.
That's in the pocket again. The 5 pin did not move.
Triple strike is worth $725 this week. $50 in the bonus ball contest. We'll have that at the end of today's match.
This is a $50 shot right on the money for Tim Lipke. We go to the break. He works on 3 marks in a row. Hallberg's working on a mark. We're going to the break with Lipke in the lead. As we continue from Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire, Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV. Rich Hallberg is working on a strike as we move to box number 5 of our second string. Tim Lipke in the lead by about 50 pins. Both bowlers working on marks. That one got away from him. We'll still have another ball to fill the strike. Just took out 3 with that one. The 6, the 9, and the 10. Add 2 more and put 6 in the strike. And a 6 box for Rich Hallberg.
I'd like to acknowledge the Senior Professional Candlepin Bowling Association. Now, the most recent tournament results are in October because of the way the taping falls in the cycle of their tournaments. We don't have November's action for you, but congratulations to Alex Pendleton winning the senior tour at Canal Lanes in Southampton, Mass. back in October 21st and 22nd. Gary Duffett tied with Charlie Jutras for second. Now, Charlie last year won 4 of the senior stops and came in second in one of the other ones, so he still continues to pretty much dominate the competition, though he didn't win this time around. 4th place, Alan Publicover, I don't know him, and Bill Treeful, the sheriff. You know, he was 50. That's what you got to be. He came in 5th place for the men. And the women, we'll let you know how they did. Mel Honorado coming in first, a name that we've known for many, many years. Judy Witcher second. And Jean, boy, I tell you what, I need glasses to read some of these names.
Garapi?
Yeah. Came in 3rd. Senior Pro Tour.
Now Lipke looking for another mark. He tickled the 6 pin. It's wobbling, but it won't go down. Puts 9 in the spare. Another mark. Another $25.
Well, we knew at some point Tim Lipke would let loose and put a nice run together. He's in the progress of doing that right now.
That one got away from him off the head pin. He just puts 4 in the spare. It's an 81.5 for Tim. Tough shot here, though. Not going to make it. The string ends at 4. That'll be a 7 box for Tim Lipke. He's at 88 through 6. And a lead of 62 pins in the match for Tim Lipke over Rich Hallberg as we are a little more than halfway through this match.
Oh, he's just plowing his way up the ladder, isn't he, so far?
Hallberg on the head pin that time, but well, he breaks up the back row, but still leaves a tough shot. The 5 and the 10 with wood. Well, a couple pieces of wood on the lane. Can't hurt. Will he make it? He slid it over there, but not with enough oomph.
Cut it too thin, actually. Right idea, not enough energy.
That'll be a 10 box for Rich Hallberg. As I watch him and I watch his delivery, we talked about the way he cocks his wrist behind his back. I don't know how he does it. It looks to be
unnatural.
Very unnatural, and as you mentioned earlier, almost painful. This time he has a spare opportunity with the 6 and the 10 on the right, some wood, double wood though, and I don't like the way the wood is set up there. If that piece of wood in the back could get in the way, watch out.
Didn't help him at all. 10 pin's still there. And Rich is in danger of not hitting 100 this game.
He's at 70 through 8 after a 97 in the first string.
Ed Woodside is our bowler next week, meeting the winner of today's match. Our runner-up today, $225 from Lita Lanes and WNDS prize money.
Lipke on the head pin, not much to show for it. 5 still standing. The 3, the 5, the 6, the 9, and the 10. Now the 3 and the 5. That'll be a 9 box for Tim Lipke,
who after 4 marks in a row has now had 2 frames without even 10s.
That one got away from him. He didn't like his delivery at all. He stood right up after he released the ball and looked unhappy about it. Almost cleaned it up.
He missed it by so much that he nearly made it. Head pin remains for a 10 box.
And he'll nudge it over. He's at 107, a 61 pin lead in the match. Next time you're in Nashua, by the way, and looking for something to eat, why not try the Pizza Hut on Amherst Street, just off the Everett Turnpike, exit 7W. Laurie Christian and her crew do a great job. They have a terrific luncheon buffet every Monday through Friday from 11:30 to 1. It includes the salad bar, includes breadsticks and all the condiments and several different varieties of pizza and salads, and just a wonderful setup. So the next time you're coming to Lita Lanes looking for something good to eat, head on over to Pizza Hut, 313 Amherst Street, exit 7W off the Everett Turnpike in Nashua. 10 box for Rich Hallberg. He's at 80. Needs a double mark to get to 100. After a 97 first string, Rich continues to struggle. Can he get the strike? 9. The wood is behind the pin, might be frozen to it. The spare for Rich Hallberg in the 10th frame, his second mark of the string. He's at 90 plus whatever he gets on this ball. Well, he'll finish with 99. 99 second string for Rich Hallberg to go with his first string 97, a 196. 2 string total.
I think that's what David DiOrio had after 2 strings last week. 196. Or something in that neighborhood.
Here's Lipke trying to bust up the split. Was 196. 87 and 109. Lipke for the spare. Watch out, here it comes. He got it.
And he knew it, too. A little body English indicated he knew it was there.
Watch it again. Don't give up on it. Doesn't look like he's going to get it, does it? But here it comes. And there it goes. Well, he's found the range on the head pin the last couple of boxes. Puts 9 in the spare.
And that pin is not his friend.
Unless it takes a different angle. Nope, now it just angled differently. Angled quite a bit differently.
Still not great, but he'll play it off a little bit to the left and hope to ram it right into the 8 pin. Played it to the right.
136 plus a ball for Tim Lipke. And a commanding lead over Rich Hallberg going to the 3rd string. A lead of something close to 70 pins.
Oh, look at that.
Finishing with a strike, $50 in bonus money. And a 146 second string. Watch it one more time as we go to the break. Tim Lipke has a 71-pin lead over Rich Hallberg with 1 string remaining. We're coming back to Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire right after this on WNDS TV's Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Tim Lipke will lead us off in the 3rd string.
What a big finish he had, huh? 146, that's more like it.
And he finished with $125 in bonus money in the string. And a 71-pin lead over Rich Hallberg. And he starts out with a spare.
He can do no wrong now, getting some nice breaks on some of these spare shots.
Looking to start another string of bonus money here. Right on the head pin. Trying to bust up the split. That 10 pin won't go. It's the 7 and the 10. A couple of pieces of wood. I think you got to take your chances and play that outside wood right now and just hope to spray something.
The way it's going for Tim the last 5 or 6 frames, I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen.
Here it comes. Hold your breath. Almost got it. $10 for Tim and 28 through 2. Rich Hallberg really has a mountain to climb. You never say never. We learned that a long time ago, but
he's down 99 pins. Jeez. There's almost no room for any error in this game for Rich Hallberg, barring a Lipke collapse. And
he really needs to run the table. Not going to make the spare. And a $9.
Saw Rich back last January. He and mixed doubles partner Deb DeRocher began as 5th seeds in our mixed doubles competition. They lost to number 3 seed Paul St. Pierre and Deb Bradford, but they had previously beaten number 4 seeds Dave Richards and Joanne Rosano the week before to at least get to their 2nd week of competition.
Well, Hallberg almost with a strike, everything but the 7 pin. Delayed reaction. 7 pin still stands. And it still stands. That'll be a $10 for Rich. 80 pins, 8 boxes.
Rich will need about a 200 game and hope that Lipke keeps it under 120. That's about how it stands.
Tim is on the head pin, though. He's really kind of found a range here in the latter stages of the match. Second string, he had 7 marks. Almost pulled one off there.
He is so good on those split shots and cut shots, and when he leaves the half whisters, he knows exactly how thinly to hit it to make the pins mix. Very, very fine, as you pointed out earlier, pin shooter, as he misses
Missed one there, but he can afford that at this stage of the game.
yeah, he's got the luxury of lots of extra pins at this point. Seems every time we do give him a compliment, he does seem to go off his mark just a little bit. Sorry, Tim, we'll start trashing you, see if that helps.
Want to remind you that Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV is a presentation of the Thompson family of dealerships. McMulkin Chevrolet, Nashua Hyundai, Nashua Mitsubishi, and Nashua Daewoo, all located in the New England Automotive Village on the Daniel Webster Highway in Nashua, New Hampshire. And that'll be a 9 box for Tim Lipke.
Triple wood deflecting the ball away from the 10 pin.
That's a pocket shot and a strike for Rich Hallberg.
Who could use 3 or 4 more in a row.
Watch it one more time. That one was right in the pocket. On the 1-3 side, cleaned him up nicely. Now he looks for 2 in a row and starts to come back here. Not going to grab the head pin, going to leave the 4 horsemen on the left side, the 1, the 2, the 4, and the 7. No wood. And he'll not pick it up. Whoop, I almost spoke too soon as that wood came bouncing back. Put 9 in the strike. And a 9 box, and we go to the break with a 70-pin lead for Tim Lipke over Rich Hallberg with 6 boxes remaining as we head down the home stretch on Candlepin Stars and Strikes from WNDS TV. We're back to Leda Lanes in Nashua right after this.
Candlepin Stars and Strikes is brought to you in part by Dexter Shoe, the #1 bowling shoes in the world.
Tim Lipke ready to go. On lane 34, he has a commanding 70-pin lead over Rich Hallberg with 6 boxes remaining. Spread eagle right through the middle. 2, 4, 7 on the left, 3, 6, 10 on the right. 10 spares in the match thus far for Lipke. $125 in bonus money. Picks 1 up on the right. A 6-pin. That'll be a 5 box for Tim. Another time, other circumstances, he might be worried about it, but not at this particular stage of the game.
At Woodside awaits the winner of today's match, likely to be Tim Lipke, who started as the number 5 seed, now looks to get into the semifinal match of this ladder.
I think Tim's in pretty good shape. Is that what you're saying?
I think he is.
Yeah.
A little easier to predict than the Gore Bush debacle a month ago.
As people are watching this, we still may not know. That'll be a spare for Tim Lipke.
Well, the first broadcast of today's show is December 3rd. If, as we speak, we haven't found out who the president is yet. How very sad, huh? Of course, we're taping this on the 14th of November. Let the record show. 1 week after the general election. They're still counting votes. I've received a number of write-in votes for county attorney in Hillsborough County, New Hampshire.
Of course, Mike Morin is the morning personality on WHOB 106.3 FM in Nashua, New Hampshire. Morin in the morning. You ran for what did you run for?
Somebody wrote me in for a county attorney for Hillsborough County. The fella was running unopposed, so somebody called in and said they had put my name in. Then I mentioned it, and then like all these other people started doing it. And I guess I got some presidential write-ins as well. So I guess that's what held things up in Florida. But thanks to all who voted for me. They did it with no money in the campaign fund. No soft money accepted by yours truly.
Congratulations to you. For
Thank
campaign
you.
finance reform all the way, right?
Exactly. Me and Hillary.
$10 for Rich Hallberg. He's at 66. Actually, the funniest line that I heard, I don't know if it was intended to be funny or not, but during the time of the recount in Florida, someone from Cuba suggested that they have a recount a revote in the state of Florida, and Cuba would send over observers to make sure it was done fairly. 8 in the spare. Picked the 5-pin off, left the 8-pin standing.
Completely bypassing the piece of wood, which actually might have helped him had he grazed it to deflect the ball a bit.
And that'll be a 9 box. He is at 78.
Still a massive lead. Nothing to worry about. He's in the driver's seat.
Right on the head pin, right through the middle, leaving 2 on the left and 2 on the right. The 4 and 7 on the left, the 6 and 10 on the right with some wood. The wood to the right side. And it took down the 6 and the 10 on the right, leaving the 4 and the 7 still standing. That'll be a 10 box for Tim Lipke, 88 through 8. Playing out the string here now. Lipke with the commanding insurmountable lead. He will advance to round 3.
You're sure of that?
To take on Ed Woodside next week. I'm going to go out on a limb. Hallberg right in the pocket, solid 5-pin. 5-pin did not move at all.
Did you happen to get a copy of one of the newspapers that had erroneously reported a Bush win before it was decided?
I did. Right off the wood, big smile on Rich Hallberg's face. And a 9 box for Rich.
Rich is going to take home $225 for his efforts today, and Tim Lipke will advance on in his quest to win it all. $1,000 is the grand prize in each ladder, and of course a seed in the Tournament of Champions next spring.
Another solid pocket shot for Rich, and a 9-pin drop. This time it's the 4-pin standing, but wood in front of it. This is a shot that Mike Morin would make 7 out of 10 times.
7 out of 10, that much? Oh, you're
spare for Rich in the 8th
you're in a
box.
generous mood. Must be the holiday season, Dick.
This is almost the second week in a row we had a bowler not reach 300. Rich Hallberg will make the 300 though. As Tim Lipke, 9-pin drop. Double wood surrounding the 10-pin on the right side. A mark for Tim Lipke in the 9th frame. Put 6 in the spare. Got the 3, the 6 and the 10 on the right with the 2-pin on the left. Wood rolls off the lane. Not making the spare. So he'll be open in the 10th frame. And a 10 box and a 114 and a 3-string total of 381 for Tim Lipke. A little better than last week's score of 363, and we'll watch Rich Hallberg fill his spare, and then we'll take a break. See if Rich has an opportunity to get 3 marks in a row. Right on the head pin. He'll put 6 in the spare. We'll watch one more shot from Rich. As he waits for the wood to settle down. No mark, so we'll take a break. We'll come back to meet our bowlers as Candlepin Stars and Strikes continues with Tim Lipke, the winner. We're back to Leda Lanes in Nashua right after this. Here you see the final score. Tim Lipke defeats Rich Hallberg 381 to 307. And standing alongside me right now is our runner-up this afternoon, Rich Hallberg. And you were talking before we came back on the air about sending this tape down to the folks in Florida. Is it going to make it down there?
Yeah, well, I'll send it. It may get sent back, return postage, but I'll send it down to them.
Tough getting untracked, and once you get into a situation like that, into a rut, do you have a way to try and break out of it?
Well, really, the only thing you can do is just try to hit the head pin, and it seemed to be moving all over the deck on me today. And bowling Timmy, he's one of the best. I knew I couldn't let him get too far ahead, and I did, and that's what happened. I got buried.
You've been here before. You'll be back again. A check for $225 for being runner-up. We'll see you again next time. Rich Hallberg.
Bye, Rich.
Our runner-up here this afternoon, Tim Lipke, will step up there and bowl a ball. We'll try to match him up with a winner in our bonus ball contest. A deuce. Let's see if we can find a deuce in there.
You want to come pick it out of here?
I'll grab it and reach in there and grab one.
All right.
See if we've got one in there that says 2 on it, and we'll match it up. $50 is in the jackpot right now, and Mike Moran brings out the card, and this is Arlene Susie from Manchester, New Hampshire.
Nope.
She guessed 7.
Not one of your former
Not
customers,
a match.
Tim. Sorry.
And we'll have a consolation prize from N&R Trophies of Winchendon, Massachusetts, and Tim Lipke moves in. Again, an early lead. Do you find it easier to bowl with a big lead early, or do you lose concentration, or how do you deal with it?
Both, actually. You can lose concentration when you have a lead like that, but fortunately for the last 2 weeks, you know, I've scored okay, but I haven't bowled the way I would like to, and the other gentlemen that I bowled against just have had tough days, so I've been very fortunate.
You did manage to find the range for a while where you seemed to be right on the head pin, and you did get your focus, and is that something you find yourself having to work on during the course of the match?
Yeah, but TV's not the time to try and figure out what you're doing wrong either, so, you know, it's tough.
Tim, thanks very much. We'll look forward to seeing you next week as we climb the ladder.
Thank you.
Up one more time. Tim Lipke, our winner this afternoon, and up the ladder we go.
Yeah, no easy match next week. Ed Woodside, by the way, who was a winner last year, Dick, of Triple Strike Jackpot, hit for $525. So he certainly has the ability to be explosive and throw lots of strikes.
I forgot to mention to Tim, although I'm sure he didn't forget, we have $125 in bonus money for Tim Lipke as well for his efforts this afternoon. So that sets up next week's match. Tim Lipke and Ed Woodside. For Mike Moran and our entire WNDS TV 50 crew from Leda Lanes in Nashua, I'm Dick Lutz. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on Candlepin Stars and Stripes. So long, everybody.